In the last section, you learned proper lifting techniques that should be applied for moving a dog from one place to another. In this section, we'll discuss how to restrain the dog properly in order to prevent any injury to you, anyone around you, and of course the dog. Restraining the dog properly during a procedure is serious responsibility that should not be taken lightly. Let's begin by discussing restraint techniques for a friendly dog. Even the friendliest of dogs can resist and lead to aggression during many procedures. Therefore, it's important during any restraint to always have firm control over the animal's head. Notice in this demonstration how the handler is cradling the dog's head with one arm while the dog's body is firmly pressed against the handler's own body with the other arm. Utilizing your entire arm and chest against a dog's body will help immensely in restraining medium and large-sized dogs. The more you cuddle the dog close to your body, the less likely it is to bite you. This position can be modified slightly when a blood sample is needed. The dog is often positioned close to the end of the table so that the veterinarian can easily access the dog's leg or neck. When obtaining a blood sample from the cephalic vein in the forelimb, as is commonly done for a heartworm test, the right hand should be slid forward to stabilize the elbow and hold off the vein if a tourniquet is not going to be used. Either way, the elbow is supported from behind in such a way as to prevent the dog from retracting its forearm when it feels the needle stick. If you are acting as the tourniquet, your thumb should reach across the front of the elbow and apply pressure at this location. It will often be necessary to twist your hand slightly outward in order to roll the vein up on top of the leg for easier access. The person drawing the sample will notify you when to slowly release the pressure applied by your thumb. The jugular vein is often used to draw blood from animals when a larger sampling of blood is needed. When restraining a dog for a jugular vein stick, the dog is positioned near the end of the table in a sitting position. The head and neck must be positioned and stabilized to help prevent any motion that might injure the dog during the procedure. Here, the right hand has been placed over the dog's front legs so as to help prevent the pawing response that might occur during the jugular stick. Observe how the head is held up and turned slightly away from whichever side the blood is being drawn from. Some handlers prefer to hold the muzzle as opposed to cradling the head. These are individual preferences that will come with increased experience. Holding the head too tightly may tighten the skin so much as to flatten the vein, making it difficult to find. When the head is elevated, the jugular vein should be stretched slightly, but not so much as to collapse it. The person drawing the blood may alter the positioning slightly so as to gain the best positioning of the jugular vein. When restraining for a temperature or rectal exam, it is necessary to maintain the dog in a standing position. This can easily be accomplished by slipping your hand under the abdomen and lifting as needed in order to maintain the standing position. Note that the head should definitely continue to be restrained, as these procedures can be quite upsetting to the dog. Occasionally, a dog will need to be restrained on its side. This can be a fairly vulnerable position for some dogs, and these tips may prove helpful. By reaching over the dog and pulling the inside legs out from under him, you can gently bring the dog to what is called a lateral recumbent position, or lying on its side. The dog will often fight this position, but control can be maintained if you continue to control the down legs, those against the table. Also, note how the handler's forearms are used to keep pressure on the neck and body of the dog, keeping it on its side. We have just discussed various techniques for restraining the friendly dog. In the next section, we'll go over techniques on handling and restraining aggressive dogs. A number of options are available when dealing with a more aggressive dog. Even aggressive dogs will be easier to manage if they are given adequate time and gentle handling. We will begin with the aggressive small dog and demonstrate some techniques and tools that will make your job easier and safer. If it is apparent that the dog will continue to be aggressive, you should use a large towel or blanket to assist in picking it up. A towel serves two primary purposes in restraint. When placed over the head and neck, as seen here, the dog's vision is impaired. It will be less likely to anticipate your moves, giving you an edge. Secondly, a thick layer of towels provides an